Hello, hello, hello. Today is Monday, September 18th, and we are joined by a very special guest, the young knight himself, Mr. Owen Knight from
Hey.
Survivor 43. Thank you so much for being here, Owen.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really
Awesome.
appreciated the invite, and I didn't realize how hard your theme song slapped there. I've got my AirPods in. I didn't really notice it like on
Yes.
YouTube on my computer, but dang, I was bopping along there.
Yeah, we go real hard in this house.
Yeah, apparently, love it.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, we have this little opening intro video that we're going to play that we put you into. So hope you enjoy this bop just as much. Here we go. All
Beautiful.
right. So my name, my name is John Dunphy. I'm joined, as always, by my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino. But obviously, the star of the evening is Owen Knight, and we are Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're all, we're out there. We're all over the place. So find us. But really, I can't say enough, Owen, how awesome it is to have you here. I know you and I have been talking for a while, but you're a very busy man. So
Ships in the night.
I actually was very excited because I told Kyle and Gina that you actually were the one that said that you wanted to come on and talk about the Challenge USA. So I was like, that's awesome. What a cool thing. So but it was so awesome watching you on Survivor 43. I have all your highlights here about how your multiple individual immunities, including your record-breaking last gasp, where you outlasted the Tides, which was amazing. Being in the final three. Really, really cool. What a blast to watch you on that show, for real.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. It still feels surreal. I mean, it's been what, 9 months since the finale and a year since the premiere. Actually, 3 days from now will be the anniversary of the premiere. I mean, it was just such
Hey.
an amazing experience getting to watch myself, but also just like connecting with the superfan community and all these, hearing everyone's little podcasts and everything. And like, I was so like locked in just on my, because I don't have time, but I was listening to like 8 podcasts a week when I was watching my season, because I have a little bit of an ego and like obviously I'm going to listen, but I just loved hearing all these people who just love these shows as so much as I do. And it's just so fun. So I appreciate what y'all do. I looked back through your channel today and just like, y'all cover a lot. So I appreciate how deep your love for these shows goes.
We love it
Definitely.
so much. We love it so much.
And obviously we know you've been a huge Survivor fan even before you went on Survivor, but since we're talking about the Challenge tonight, I am curious, like, how far back does your fandom of the Challenge go?
Yeah, no, great question. So I did not have cable growing up, so I was not a fan of like the OG Real World Road Rules Challenge. I'd heard of it, like I knew who the Miz was, and like I was generally like aware, but like in terms of watching, I didn't start watching. Actually, Total Madness was the first season I watched because of Jay from Survivor, and I loved watching him on Survivor. And I'd heard the challenge was great. One of my good friends, Mel back home, is a huge challenge fan, so I decided to give it a shot. And I got so pissed when he got eliminated, and when Rogan like injured him. I was just like, I stopped watching that season, but I ended up finding the challenge subreddit and the "What season should you watch" thread. Much like the Survivor subreddit does, it like upvotes like a good entry point. And I saw Fresh Meat 2 would be a good place to start for a new fan. So I started there and I got hooked immediately. My fiance and I have watched she's watched more challenge than she's actually watched Survivor, actually. So we've watched from 19 on through present day. We even watched Bloodlines. And so right now I want to go back
What
to
does that
Fresh Meat
mean?
1.
You even watch Bloodlines. That's somehow right. That's somehow outside of the lore.
Yeah. No, it's not. I just some of those relatives were kind of duds in my opinion, but it did give us the bakery fight with Jenna and her cousin, so that was iconic. But yeah, I've become a huge fan of the challenge. I really like the show. I sometimes, when I describe it to my friends who ask about it, I'm like, it's like a Survivor's drunk stepbrother or something. Like, it's more dramatic, it's more extreme with the challenges, and the personalities are bigger, and it's cool. It's a really fun show. And USA was like solid, I thought, just because I liked so much of the cast. But I've been really happy watching this current season we're on right now.
Yeah, I agree about that because USA season 1, it was definitely fun, but this season has a different feel to it for whatever reason. I've really been enjoying USA 2.
It really felt like in the first USA season, they were like just starting to kind of get their footing and be like, all right, well, what is this going to be? And then once they saw like how that all played out, this season, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds ahead of last USA.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be down to play on a season of the challenge? Like if they did a USA season 3, would you be interested in doing that?
Something happened.
What's going on?
Is this you're upside down.
I'm so happy this is happening. This is something that would happen to me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm drunk. And then like leave.
He's coming back. He's coming back. There we go.
John, what are you doing?
I am. There we go.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I can't see anyone now, but can you hear me?
Oh, really? We can see you and hear you.
Okay, we'll just rock with it. I don't know if it's my internet. I'm on my phone because I left my computer at work. But I heard you ask, would I do a season of the challenge? And the answer is yes, I would. I do feel like I have unfinished business with Survivor, so I don't know if there's some like chain of custody that would need to be negotiated or whatever, but Survivor's my first love. It's like if I could only do one show, it'd obviously be Survivor, but certainly open to the idea of the challenge for sure.
Awesome.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I guess we should get more into the Challenge USA and then this last week's episode. One of your fellow castmates from Survivor 43 and one of the people you were in the final 3 with in Cassidy is on this season of the Challenge USA. And she actually was nominated for elimination. She didn't have to go down. She didn't have to compete. But what's it been like watching one of your old castmates on the season? And
it's been so fun. I mean, she and I talked about it on the island. Once we had both won a couple challenges, we're like, ooh, maybe they'll call us for the Challenge USA. And I'm so incredibly proud of her. You know, she's a beast. She's one of my close friends. I actually was just in Austin visiting her, and we got to watch the episode together, which was great. She had a little watch party. And yeah, I mean, just watching the season, it's been stressful, certainly, and hard just seeing you know, her trying to ingratiate herself socially, seeing some of the Survivor people doing their own thing with or without her, and a feud with Wes, like a challenge legend. It's been really fun. But at the same time, it's like, we have kind of this older brother, younger sister dynamic, and I do feel like a little protective. And whenever I see comments online, I'm like, no, like, I promise, I'm sure there's more to the story. She's not just like blindly pissed at Wes for no reason, but it's been so fun. I've had a blast watching. And yeah, I mean, this episode was stressful. I thought it was really beautiful that she's gotten to talk more about her sister, Catherine, who passed away a few years ago. And, you know, on Survivor, she was mentioned and she had some of Catherine's ashes in her moon necklace, but just hearing more about her kids and just addiction awareness in general, I commend the Challenge and CBS for talking about that more. So it's been really beautiful and fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that, like, you know, she's new to the Challenge, but she's come in, and even with the little beef she's been having with Wes, I feel like she's playing a great game. And like the fact that she's not backing down from like the vets and stuff like that is it's good to see, because a lot of rookies just kind of do whatever the vets want. So
yeah, it makes for a little less exciting TV when all the rookies kind of capitulate and just try not to be the rookies that get targeted immediately. So I respect the heck out of that. I mean, she's a fighter and just a badass. But
yeah, she's pretty tough. Like she's not backing down for a second.
Dude, that elimination in the hamster ball, that looked intense. Like, she looked pretty beat up after that, as did Alyssa. That looked as hard, if not harder, than any challenge we did on Survivor. I mean, that looked physically exhausting, and just like they just got beat to hell in there.
Yeah. That was
I was almost surprised to see an elimination like that so early. Like, that felt super early in the game to be doing something that challenging. So, like, yeah. Hats off to Cassidy for not only being involved in that, but winning it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was really, really proud of her for that one. That looked tough.
Yeah, for sure. So what did you guys think about these competitions we had in this past week's episode? Though we had the daily competition, the daily challenge, which was the speed jumps competition.
Oh, yes.
And Cassidy did pretty well in
Oh.
this one too, actually. So they started out first with these little trampolines where they had to jump up and down, look over this wall, add up the numbers. The top 3 men, top 3 women would move on to the second round, which was a trampoline on a moving truck, where they then had to jump up and down on this trampoline and grab flags to accumulate the most points. Whichever man and woman had the most points, they would be the winners for their heats. So, and Cassidy did pretty well in this one, but she didn't make it to that in the second round. But what do you guys think about this competition? Did you like this? And Owen, as somebody that's played competitions, like on Survivor, what do you think like of something like this compared to like a Survivor challenge that you've done?
Yeah, this one felt more similar to a Survivor challenge than some of the other challenges you see on the challenge proper. I thought it was like a good mix of like kind of campy and a little silly, but also like cool, like with the truck and the little wires they had attached on them and everything. But the first part was like kind of chaotic and fun, and offered that chance to maybe copy someone's notes or whatever. And
Yeah.
I like when a little bit of strategy gets weaved in with the challenge as well. I think that makes for opportunities for unique gameplay or connecting with other players in some capacity. But yeah, I thought it was solid. Not maybe my favorite I've ever seen, but it looked fun, certainly.
Yeah. I could tell it looked like Fessy more than anybody else I noticed was trying to cheat and see what other people's answers were with those numbers. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
But also, it's like, why wouldn't you? I
Right,
was surprised
like,
why
of
people
course.
didn't.
It's right there. It's right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, always coming in with the hot takes, but I hated it. Like part 1, I thought was super fun. Like that was great. But part 2, I cringed the entire time. Like, how are you going to have these people jumping on this trampoline with something that is moving? I'm surprised that more people did not run into the problem that Tori did, breaking her damn back. Like, what is this? Who thought of this? Like, of course that's going to happen. You're jumping in the air. The bottom is moving.
Yeah.
I can't believe more people didn't fall outside of whatever this square was.
Honestly, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It
Hey,
was
they had
very
dental
uncomfortable
floss
to me.
attached to them. They were safe,
I was like,
sure.
what
Yeah.
is this? What is this? And I guess the dental floss is what was supposed to keep you from hitting
It
the
looked
edge.
pretty
except
flimsy to me. Yeah, I would have been
right.
scared doing that.
It didn't work. Tori damn near broke her back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's super uncomfortable. I cringed the whole time.
Did they adjust it to people's heights also, or I forgot if they did?
They said that for part 1 with the trampolines and little blocks they put underneath, but like, I don't remember hearing that about part 2.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean it didn't
Yeah.
happen, but
Yeah, I'd be curious if Tori and Fessel are the two tall. I'm sure Fessy is, but I don't know if Tori's particularly tall or not. But yeah, I mean, that was just interesting. I mean, I agree. The first part was definitely more fun just for the like chaos of it.
look at this comment. They were attached to the platform. Okay, but Tori definitely slammed her back. You ever had the bougies attached?
I assume that's
I think it's supposed to be bungees. Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to say, well, I don't know bougies or bungees. I don't know what this is. And as a large
Like a
man,
bungee
I would
cord,
not. I understand what a bungee cord is, but even still, I would not trust somebody's bungee cord to keep my fat ass within a square. I'm like, oh no, y'all gonna have to make sure I'm safe, right? Because if I go down, I go down.
I don't know. It looked like Fessy did like a backflip at one point, but I don't know if the truck was still moving anymore at that point. But he's just a freak of nature. But
he's always doing backflips on shit.
Crazy athlete.
He's doing the most for no reason. But I love him so much.
But But Tori and Fessy, they took this daily challenge. So they had all the power going into nominations. And this is where we really saw, because I will say, your fellow Survivor alum have been absolutely killing it this season. It took 9 episodes in, right? And at this point, before the elimination, still haven't lost a single Survivor player. So that's incredibly impressive. They've really been doing just dominating in the game.
That's how we do. Yeah, I'm really happy to see them doing so well.
Yeah. But we did start to see a little bit of messiness from Chris in particular, and I would even say Sebastian too, who's been kind of showmancing with Tori, but he started throwing out Corey's name at one point.
Sebastian's all over the place. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah,
but
yeah, master strategist. I don't know if I'd call him that. His vibes are great. I look forward to meeting him one of these days. But man, that once you get into showmance like that, especially with a vet in this situation, like that's prone to messiness for sure.
Yeah.
Can we talk more about why we think Chris is messy?
Sure. You don't seem to think he is.
I don't think he is. Well, I think it's worth conversation. Because like I do think it's that part of the game where he should start separating himself a little bit. We keep hearing that we're starting to get to the end of this whole thing. And if Survivor is going to be what you're aiming for, right? That's their target. If you're talking about a Survivor girl and a Survivor guy, why wouldn't I be trying to push it off on the girl? Like at this stage, like I don't really think that was a messy move. It's like, it's going to be Survivor. So like, sorry, girl, whether we want it to be at this point or not, it's where we are. Mm-hmm. So
I think,
what was he supposed to do? Just not campaign against her because like, she's Survivor. So I guess you just lay down and die. Like,
I think it really had to do more. He was just doing too much. Cause like at one point they said that he had mentioned every single Survivor girl to somebody else. Like, and they all started to compare notes, and they're like, "Oh, Chris said my name to you, but he said your name to me." And he also said this person's name over here.
Like, I don't think it was as much like his campaigning against Cassidy as so much as it was like before they even were the nominees. You know, that he's just been like going around and name dropping everybody to everybody.
Yeah.
But was it really before that point? I had this question as I was watching it myself. It's like, I don't know when some of these conversations were happening. Like there was a conversation between Chris and somebody else. I really don't remember who now, but it's like, when do you do that? And are you sure that every conversation we saw was in the order in which it actually happened?
Sure. Yeah. The editing always does people dirty. So it's right. So hard to tell.
I don't know that's kind of where I am with that. Thank you, Kyler.
No, I like where you're coming from, Kyle. Yeah. No, that it was edited certainly to be much more dramatic. And like I've learned from being on one of these shows, they do sometimes like obviously they can't fabricate anything that was said, but sometimes they'll like change the order of certain things to help the flow of the episode or something. So it's certainly possible. But I hadn't thought of it from the angle you said, Kyle, of like it's there are half the people left in the game. Like at a certain point, it's just gotta happen. And if you're not going to put the target onto the other nominee when you know it's going to be a Survivor woman, like, yeah, it's hard to fault him, but at the same time, I do agree that it seemed a bit extra, but yeah, it was interesting to see it kind of spiral out of control. And especially since he was voted out so early on Edge of Extinction, like I was trying to think, and I don't know if I fully thought this point through, but just like the difference between the pre-merge game versus the post-merge game on Survivor and just how many moving parts there are and how many more opportunities there are for people to compare notes. And I think that's what got him in trouble, because when you're on a tribe, it's not quite as chaotic, but I guess he was on a 10 versus 10 season. So still had some experience there, but still, I feel like it's just so easy in an early part of Survivor to have much more like faction based kind of strategy. Whereas now it's a lot more fluid.
Yeah,
totally fair.
He doesn't really have as much experience like socially in these games either, right? Because I think he was voted out third in Edge of Extinction, and then he was out for a very long time before coming back into the game as one of the last like returnees that season, right? So like he doesn't have as much experience in these types of situations.
I want to know more about that, because we are not as well versed with Survivor lore as we are Challenge and Big Brother, right? So I really found out from this episode that he was the third elimination. That's way earlier than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
And so when did he re-enter the game? Are we dealing with somebody who doesn't actually know how to play the social end of this? Like, did you leave too early and come back too late to understand what the hell is going on here? So
I see what you're saying.
Are we just like a chaotic man because we don't really know what's up?
I think that could be a little part of it. I mean, I think he does definitely have a natural inclination towards these kind of games, and like he's a natural in many ways, but like from his experience, so he left on day 9, and he re-entered at the final 6. So I think he re-entered on like day 35.
You
Ironically,
skipped a lot. You skipped a lot.
He was on edge of extinction.
That's really interesting.
26 days. He was on extinction for as long as a New Era Survivor season, which is
that's
kind
wild.
of sad in a way.
Wow.
But like, yeah. So he came in late. He had an idol, but there might have been a caveat with it. I forget. I think he had to get someone to play it for him. I forget exactly how it worked. But yeah, he masterfully played the end of that game. But he missed the mid game, which is, I think, some of the most chaotic parts of it. Like for me, just thinking about the merge, when we merged with 13 people on one beach, I remember standing there in the middle of camp with Jesse at one moment on 43, and everyone was just like, it felt like I was in the middle of a tornado or something, and just like camera people running everywhere, survivors running everywhere, and it's just so chaotic. And I was just like, oh my God, like what is happening? Because I went from 4 other people on the beach to 12, and it made my head spin. It was wild.
Yeah. It's funny because like you can see that there's a good strategic mind to Chris too, because earlier in this season he was the one that really came up with that whole plan. I forget what the exact competition was now, but Green had been like dominating. They had won like the previous daily challenge or something,
trucks.
and then on the trucks, and then Chris said, well, why don't blue and red work together, make sure that green can't win, and then we'll just protect each other. Like he clearly like has good ideas, but I felt like this just felt a lot more, and a lot, like we said, it could have been a lot to do with the editing and the production, but this felt very chaotic to me, to the point where Chanel even referred to Chris as like a dead man walking, and this is a fellow Survivor player that you've been working with right throughout the season.
And she's also over it too. She knows she's got to cut ties. And this one is being seen as chaotic. He's being seen as messy. Goodbye. Wasn't really working with you, no way. So,
yeah, I think he's going to have his back against the wall for however long he's in the game here. It seems like he did not do himself many favors, but dude's a beast. I remember looking him up, and like I saw him when the cast came out for his season, and I was like, this dude had to be an athlete of some sort. And I think he was like all-state in basketball. He walked on the football team at his college. Like he's very athletic and strong. And so he showed well now in 2 different eliminations. So interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see, because all you need, so I guess we'll talk about the elimination. So he went in against Sebastian. What did you guys think about this? This was that Seabass?
Seabass.
Yeah, this was Trick Boom. They basically first had to take a ball, bounce it on these 3 platforms, get it into a target, and then if they did that, they had to move on to another section where they had 5 platforms that they had, but some of these were angled, and you had to get it into the target first. Chris won, beating Sebastian, ending Tori's showmance, which I'm not complaining about. I always like Tori better without a showmance, but now that Chris has won and is staying in the game and goes in, like all he needs to do is win a daily challenge, and he might be able to kind of take some of the heat off of himself. Maybe someone else gets nominated for elimination and they cause chaos, and the spotlight goes on someone else, and everyone just sort of forgets about Chris. What do you think? Do you think his chances of survival are good, or do you think he's got like a big hole to still dig out of here?
I guess I'll go first. Yeah, I think he does have a chance. I mean, he's got a shot of winning a daily for sure. And I really liked your point, John, about someone else potentially digging themselves a bigger hole, right? Because I think I've realized with these games, a big part of your success in these games that is hard to practice is how you respond to things not going your way. And this is something that people have said nice things about me, and that like even though like I threw my tantrums here and there, like overall I didn't totally torpedo my game when I was left out of a vote, or if things went poorly, like I was able to still recover and make it to the end. Whereas I think some people, like, they totally blow up their spot if they're left out of something, or if something goes wrong and they just spiral into this chaotic mess. So I think it'll be hugely dependent on how he responds to this. But as we were saying a bit earlier, I think he does have a natural knack for these kind of games. Like he's not a winner by accident. Like, sure, it's a very unique circumstance with how his Survivor game went, but like he's in sales. Like he's a smart guy. Like I don't think he's like doomed out of this situation. But I think, as you mentioned, winning a daily is going to be pretty critical as we come down the home stretch here.
Yeah, for sure. And he has now faced multiple eliminations, right, and won, whereas you still have people in that house that haven't been nominated yet. So just wait and see. Somebody gets put in that position of danger, for the very first time, and they have to now deal with it for the first time. People might forget all about Chris and any chaos that he might have caused this week. So,
well, they're going to forget it real fast if he wins. Like, if he wins going into the next episode, all that is gone. Everything he did was golden. We love you so much, Chris.
Yeah.
And then
now
you
it's time to
can
suck
very
up.
easily reset all of this if you use that power correctly.
Right.
Now, does he have the social prowess to use that correctly? That is still to be seen, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think his, what does that saying go? I don't think his card is punched. But there's some writing on the wall, and it's more than pencil.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd be really excited by a Chris by Chris getting power too, because I feel like
Chris
some
HOH.
of these yeah, I know.
That's what he wanted to say. That you started.
Yeah.
But because I feel like some people, you just know who they're going to target immediately, and Chris, I feel like, could go in a number of directions, which makes me excited.
I have no idea who he would go after. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does he go after vets? Does he go after Survivor people? I don't know. It could be interesting.
How far away from the final are we here?
That's still up for debate.
Because there were 14 through this episode, so we're down to 13, and they'll run the final with 10 or 8 probably.
I think they're gonna do 10. I think they'll do 5 and 5. Pretty sure that's what they did in season 1. And also, it looks like there's only 11 episodes, and this was the 9th one. So I feel like,
I was gonna say, didn't we get some kind of confirmation that a double is coming, or were we speculating on that?
I don't remember.
For some reason,
honestly,
I feel like TJ at some point said a double was coming.
I remember us talking about it. I just don't remember if we knew it for sure.
Tyler says 8. We're running this final with 8.
But they'll probably have to do a double.
They'd have to do like a purge.
Then we would have to.
Yeah.
To get down to that number, because isn't the finale the 27th? No, the 28th? Question mark?
Yeah, I know season 1 was 5 and 5, but it was a final of 10 people.
For 20 seconds until Enzo quit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, we had also lost. Ben.
Ben with his shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, we had also lost Ben, so it got cut down real quick.
It is so nice to see Desi thriving in this game after Enzo screwed her so bad last year.
Yeah, she really does. I've never been so mad. I yelled at my TV during the final last year.
It was ridiculous.
Absurd. Soft.
Ugh.
Yeah. Not a fan of that. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Desi. We actually connected through a non-reality TV connection. I work in higher education, and there's this Amazon show that does 30-minute episodes about colleges to let you show off the school so people can learn about your school from home without having to visit. And Desi recently got hired as the host for their HBCU kind of offshoot. She went to an HBCU and she was shooting an episode here in New Orleans. And the producers who I had met when we filmed the Tulane episode connected us, and I grabbed a drink with her and the producers, and she's lovely. I mean, she is just really, really kind, listens well. I can see why she's ingratiating herself well in the house, and she's also just crazy athletic. She's a beast. So I've been seeing some of her Instagram content that she's putting up of all this stuff she's doing at the gym. She's a triple threat for sure.
Oh, thank God. I'm also happy to hear that about her personality, because there's certain people that you sit back and oh my God, you're sitting on your couch, half in the bag. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this person. And it's oh, should I? I don't want to be too public with my love of this person, because I could get canceled, by way of you.
Desi is safe to stand. 100% safe to stand, Desi.
Thank God.
I love that.
God. 100% approved.
Love that. Desi's my winner pick for the women on this season. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never made an official pick. I mean, Cass would have been mine, but I was just so stressed about the whole thing. I'd never like thought about it.
Desi was instantly, once we saw that she was going to be back on this season, she instantly became my winner pick just because of what Enzo did to her last season.
Right. How poetic.
Sure.
So, how poetic that would be. That'd be awesome.
I also have to say, it looks like, and I never doubt Kyler, but it looks like Kyler is right. There are more challenge episodes that are now listed on the wiki than were previously.
Oh,
I've seen so much different information. Yeah, it is honestly bad news for us, for our schedule that we were planning.
Because we want to pick up Survivor. I'm like,
Survivor and Big Brother and this.
Oh right. We're
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, but we were exhausted.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We will figure it out. We will figure it out.
Yeah.
A lot to watch.
Because I've been seeing articles too at one point that were saying there's only 11 episodes or 12 episodes of the Challenge USA season 2 this season. So it feels like they're just making it up as they go.
Probably.
That's fine.
But yeah.
Because I'm not mad about getting more episodes. Just got to figure out how to work it into the podcast life,
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna watch them all. So we just have to figure out when we can talk about it.
And it's a strong season. It's not like, in seasons past where we felt really burnt out and exhausted and I'm so over this. We're all having a good time.
Ride or
on
dies.
The season. We
couldn't wait for that to end.
So long.
But
the challenge proper seasons go on forever. It's like Christmas break and I'm at home with my parents' house, recording the challenge on their DVR. And I'm like, when did this season even start? It just goes
we felt like we were covering Ride or Dies for 4 years. We were like, how long could this possibly last?
What is it, 22 episodes or something? I mean, I'm here for ridiculous. It. I love reality shows, but it's just 2 a week. I loved having 2 a week at the beginning of this season. I thought that really helped the pace a lot. I was a big fan of that. So maybe with the writer strike continuing, who knows, maybe more shows do that, because I think that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, since we're on it, how do you feel about Survivor and Amazing Race expanding to 90-minute episodes?
Yeah, I'm super pumped for it. I mean, we were lucky that we got one 90-minute episode my season, episode 2. And I thought it was a good balance. Obviously, that episode, for those who don't remember, it did have some twist heavy kind of content. That's where the bead idols got discovered and the Vessi tribe did their little scramble for the beads, and they kind of had to explain all that. Yeah. But then selfishly, I loved it because we got my little scene of me carrying our pot of water and bitching about my tribe and how much they hate drinking water. And I need to force feed them water so they don't get dehydrated. But I thought it was a good mix of character moments as well. So I'm really optimistic and hopeful that this Survivor season we do get more character development and more camp life scenes that really show us more about who these people are and how they interact with each other. Because I think with the shortening of the game from 39 to 26 days, I think some of those opportunities are obviously left not even on the cutting room floor. They just don't happen as much because you don't have as many down days and days where you're just sitting around camp. I remember I think it was day 10 for us was an off day, and there was no challenge, no tribal, nothing. And that's when a lot of the Baca drama was boiling up, and the fishing trip and just peak us being pissed with each other was happening. And I'm looking forward to more time to open that up. And then for Amazing Race, I was nervous at first because I remember there was a 90-minute episode of the race, I think last year as well. And it kind of dragged, but then I read that they filmed a new season of the race where they designed the route for these 90-minute episodes. So I'm actually quite excited for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow,
okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I feel horrible though for the folks who filmed the original season, but now have to wait an extra year for it to air. Since
that's right.
Yeah, that sucks for them. I feel really bad. But I'm excited. I think it'll be better TV since they redid the route.
No. Wow.
I chuckled a little bit when you mentioned your second episode of Survivor, because it has been a Strat chat thing to kind of, very much ballyhoo the fact that Survivor on their second episode pushed back our Big Brother finale. by several hours.
I'm so sorry.
We were like, are you kidding me? Our finale is pushed back, not for the premiere, not the finale of Survivor,
For
but for
episode
episode
2.
2. How disrespectful. And you're like, oh, we had a great episode. I don't know if you guys remember. It was episode 2. It was 90 minutes.
And you're like, I remember.
Get out of here. I remember, and I'm still salty.
Oh my god.
Honestly, though,
So
Big
funny.
Brother is constantly getting pushed. Do you know that last night?
Disrespect is so real.
Last night, the episode of Big Brother didn't end till almost midnight our time because it was getting
Really?
pushed for football.
Oh, I know that happened with even
60
golf.
minutes.
It got pushed for football, but then they had to run a rerun of whatever the hell that show is that nobody's watching. And I was like, you can't even push us. Like, yeah, I was like, you gotta play the rerun before our episode.
So hysterical. The disrespect is so real in these streets.
No, it's funny. Oh my god. No, it's because they have to give them as much time to edit the episode as possible.
Yeah.
All right,
my theory.
positive.
Yeah.
That's my crackpot theory there.
Oh man,
Matt wants to
Blevins.
know if you think that Survivor or Big Brother is better. Like, okay, we already know what your answer is going to be, but this,
Matt Blevins, what do you think
right,
he's gonna
this
say?
question is disrespectful because Matt Blevins arrived at us via Survivor, and like we made him a Big Brother fan. So like, what he's trying to do here is pit you against
Entrap
us.
me.
Uh-huh,
No, I mean,
uh-huh.
I think, did Corey say it? Survivor is obviously the better show, but I'd entertain the argument that Big Brother is a more interesting game dynamic. I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Playing the middle.
But from like a viewing the show and like enjoying it, Survivor 100 times out of 100. But there's moments. I remember we were laying there watching Name That Toot a couple of weeks ago. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, what, like, and I try to explain Big Brother to my friends, and they're like, yeah, Survivor in a house, like, there's different, but it's cool because they nominate and this and that, but it's, it's a little goofy. And then you watch them superimposing fart clouds on people, and it's like, oh my god, like, what am I
literally
doing?
all season long, we have sat on this podcast and been like, if this episode is the first one that a friend of ours started watching, I'd be so embarrassed. And we've said it every episode of the season.
Exactly. You're just like, oh my god, like it's so unserious, but I also appreciate that they don't care, and like that's part of the gimmick.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it also
is
go ahead. No, you go.
All right. I was going to say the problem is you have to watch more than one episode to appreciate that cheesy. And sometimes, like Sheena said, you only have one shot to get somebody in. So my partner is always like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, not this episode. Not this woman, the Nether Gorgon. No, not this, not this woman, name your toot. I got to find the perfect one. And unfortunately, this whole season is too cheesy, but the gameplay has been really good. So it's like
and chaotic, yeah.
Right. And it's like, I don't know how to get you in. I need a 3-episode commitment before we can even get into this. Right. Like,
well, I will say one clip I watched today, because I forget. I don't know if they did a double last year, but I watched the clip from BB Canada 5 of their double elimination, and that was electric television. I was like glued to my phone. I watched that today at lunch because I know there's a double maybe coming up soon on BB 25, and it's this week. Oh,
this week,
and because I don't think I watched it last year, and it was fascinating. So that could be a fun one for people to watch. But then of course the HOH is going to be something absolutely absurd, and they'll be in like lederhosen chugging pee or something. Like it's wild. But and it's also like what I was going to say earlier. It's like when it was a summer show, the campiness and like the goofiness felt like more appropriate almost. But now that we're like healthily into the fall, I'm like the dichotomy between football and Big Brother is just so wide that it just feels even weirder,
I'm excited that we're gonna have Halloween in the Big Brother house. That's pretty fun.
Spooky ooky BB.
The scary verse. Let's go.
The scary verse, right?
I'm curious. So because we've been comparing Survivor and Big Brother, what's it like to watch a former Survivor player and Suri be in the Big Brother house?
God.
And has it made you think about like as a former Survivor player, what would my strategy be in the Big
What would
Brother
I
house?
look like in this
My
house
strategy
faced
for Big
against
Brother
another
would be
Gorgon?
my strategy for Big Brother would be to stay the hell away from that house. I would lose my mind on Big Brother. Like the length of the game, the feeds and everything, but just like watching Suri is magical. Like I've had the pleasure of meeting Suri as well,
Oh,
and
thank God.
Wendell actually posted a video on their Bryson Wen account because like I was speechless when I met Suri. Like she has this
Sure.
enchanting aura about her. Like she's just one of those people you want to talk to. Her smile is so genuine and inviting, and just like she could hypnotize people. Like just the fact that like Izzy thought she was gonna go to the final two with Jared, like and believed like it's just wild what she can pull off in these games, and she's just such an amazing strategist and like fun personality to watch. It's been really fun, and watching Corey as well since I'm friends with Zach. But yeah, I've enjoyed the season a lot. I think that the energy has been very fast paced, and Izzy was a big part of that. Heisem was a big part of that, and I've really enjoyed it. But I'm very confident that A, I would be dog shit at Big Brother, and B, I would not enjoy it at all.
Oh, that's so funny. All right. So the challenge for you, not Big Brother. That's
Yeah,
the next show for you.
probably. The race could be fun too, but I also think I'd be bad at the race. I'm very directionally challenged.
Sure.
Yeah. I listen, it's funny watching the Amazing Race partners like fight when they're trying to like give directions and stuff in the car, but I know I would be just as bad as
it's terrible.
anyone else. Yeah.
Or the stress dream I've had once about the Amazing Race is having a cab driver who goes the wrong way, or like gets you lost, and just you'd be like like I don't know, I couldn't do it.
I heard that this upcoming race is kind of going a little bit back to basics. Like we're going to have people fighting at the travel agents again. We're going to have people taking flights. Like these are the things that are very, very exciting and makes those U-turns and some of that stuff so much more fun and so much more strategic. So I am excited for the 90-minute extended episodes of that because I want to see how that one plays out. If it was that COVID format, kind of less into it, but this season could actually be a lot of fun because of that stuff. We had our best
100%.
Rachel Riley moments in airports. Like I can't believe it. It's like no, I want to go right back to that because that is what made the Amazing Race so fun to me. That's what made me love it. Yeah.
The drama at the airport adds so much.
Oh
the charter flights just didn't hit the same way. I completely agree.
Absolutely not. And like running into the travel agency and already seeing like 3 other teams in there, you're like, oh fuck, I already know I'm getting a bad flight. Like there's so much that goes into that, and just like having them wait to get to the next agent while everyone's busy, like even just that energy is electric. I'm excited to go back to that. Yeah, this season Amazing Race is gonna be very fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love the Amazing Race.
Yeah.
I love the Amazing Race. But did we cover the whole Challenge USA episode?
No, I was literally thinking the same thing. It's like
nope.
I guess
who cares? We're meeting a new friend.
I think we pretty much did. We talked about the elimination and who won.
There was only one other thing that I felt I needed to say about the challenge, because as we all know, I am one for slandering Fessy at every turn. I never support Fessy. I never like anything he does. However, I have to give him his flowers on this episode a little bit, because the strategy and the way that he went about like planning how he wanted to do this elimination, who his targets were, what the numbers are, going back and forth, the way he was going to appeal to Tori to get what he wanted. Like he really, really nailed it in this episode.
King Fessy, let's go.
Coming from me, that is high praise, because I cannot stand Fessy.
Listen, he's not my favorite either. I remember the final he ran with Casey and just the way he handled her injury. I was not impressed there, but I gotta say he's grown on me this season. Like I think his ego is at least less shown in the edit. Like he seems to have a level head, and like you said, strategically, I was impressed. So yeah, I got to give him, like you said, give him his flowers when they're due.
Yeah, I think he's going to be winning one of these soon. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And deserves it. All right. Enough with the slander on Fessy. Can we talk about the fact that in the coming soon, and by soon, I mean in this next upcoming episode, we're getting a return to a crying Josh. I'm sure Gina's celebrating, but like, what do you think about that? I'm so tired of this man. I'm so
Rating.
so tired. You like Josh?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking Gina.
No, I already know what Gina thinks. Gina loves Josh. Okay.
Oh, I would not say I love Josh. I still remember Devin screaming, "Josh, what's 8 times 9?" Like we'll yell that around the house sometimes. Like, and I'm not the biggest Devin fan in the world either. But
Right.
no, Josh has also impressed me this season as well. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny because like the Cass and Josh situation hasn't been shown as much as I maybe thought it would, or she had been worried about. But when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, like, oh, just because like just seeing him. But the episode when he went to bat at the deliberation and just went in was fascinating to watch because they had just like clowned on him previously in the episode with the classical music, but then he ran that table so well. And I was like, okay, like I get it. I can see how this guy won one of these games, but no, historically has not been one of my favorites. I'm curious, are y'all team CT or Bananas? If you had to choose.
I honestly, if I had to choose, because I really honestly, they're both such legends. I would have to go CT if I'm forced to choose. I would go CT.
Without being forced, I am 118, 210%, 500% in the corner of Sir Johnny Bananas. I have been a Johnny Bananas fan since Go. I have an embarrassing amount of his merch. I love Johnny Bananas. I will always root for him, except for the fact that like I am tired of the vets steamroll. I am getting exhausted with that. The only thing that trumps my love for Bananas is my love for the game of the challenge. And I think the game is more interesting without some of these vets and without Bananas in the mix. So I have a lot of respect for him. On one hand, I always wanted to see him playing this game, but there's another version of me, very close to the other, that like is kind of fine with not seeing him for at least a little bit.
Yeah, a little break.
Yeah, a little break. Not because I'm tired of him, but because I just want to see how the game shakes out without him. And I also put Wes in that same bucket.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we might not be seeing Wes for a long time,
right, and that's kind of written in the stars.
Yeah.
Hold on. Since we're talking about West, what did you think about that elimination with him and Dusty?
It looks
mad
controversy.
Yes, mad
controversy to me. Well, just based on the reactions alone, I think everyone was genuinely shocked that Dusty got eliminated there.
Everyone,
and so that makes me. I don't know. I don't know the challenge as well as I do, but like, it's they didn't show us times or anything, and just based on how strong the reaction was, like they seemed genuinely shocked. Right. So I don't know.
I mean, we've been calling shenanigans a couple of times this season, so
I might call shenanigans on that at Elam. Yeah, that was. I don't know. I felt bad. They kind of clowned on Dusty a little bit in the whole edit, his little love letter to Bananas and everything. But yeah, I have a soft spot for Dusty because he looks a lot like one of my best friends. He looked Dusty. It really threw me off because on the race he didn't remind me of my buddy, but on this one he did, and like they even sound the same. So I like couldn't help but root for him, but he was so chaotic for no reason. And like when he went off on Tiffany, I didn't care for that too much.
Nope, didn't like that.
Yeah.
I really didn't like how he didn't back my man Louis Cologne. Okay, yes, we love Louis in this house.
Yeah,
we are big 100%. Fans of him. Love that gentleman. And the fact that, like, listen, y'all came into this game with only the two of y'all. It doesn't matter what you think of anything. It doesn't matter how bad you stand Bananas. The only person who has a game reason to always back you is Lewis. Like, never mind my personal feelings for him. It did not make any sense for your game to go against him when, like, at the end of the day, how could you possibly think that you're playing this game with these vets?
Yeah.
How could you think that?
Right.
I mean, have you never watched this show at all? Like, they arrived not in your corner. There's no way that you twisted them up and had them in your corner within a week or two. Because how much time actually transpired from, like, move in to when we saw him riding so hard for them?
Yeah.
It would seem pretty immediate.
Yeah. It could have been more than 2 weeks.
I also just think we've talked about this before, but I feel like it's so messed up to put, 7 Big Brother people, 7 survivors, 6, vets, and then 2 amazing racers. Like, it's so, like,
I feel
immediately...
so bad.
They did them so dirty.
Last year too. Don't get James Wallington started on this. He, rightfully so. He gets really heated about it, and I don't blame him. Like, it sucks, and it's just an automatic disadvantage.
At least that year, we could maybe chalk it up to maybe there was a COVID problem. Maybe something didn't happen because they were only a couple of numbers behind. To come into this game as only 2 when the vets had, what was it, 6 that they came in with? I mean, like, there was no hope for Amazing Race. Like, you're the easy vote in because it's like, oh, there's not going to be any blowback for me.
Yep, no one's going to be too mad. Yeah,
right. So Dusty, like, what are you doing? Like, Dusty sucks. Sucks.
Oh man. Well, what else we got here, Matt?
Well, Matt has a question. He wants to know, this is a question to Owen, wants to know if Survivor brought back past players to host challenges like Big Brother does. Would you do it? And which one would be the most fun to host or commentate upon?
That's a really good... No one's asked me that yet, ever. So thank you for the unique question. I mean, my brain immediately went to Last Gasp, but I don't think that's my answer because I could not hear a damn thing Jeff was saying that whole time. So I would want a challenge where I could talk a little trash and mess with them a bit and just, like, just have the playful banter that Jeff does sometimes. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, an endurance challenge, honestly, I'd run out of material. Like, I don't need to be there while they're doing hands on a hard idol. I do think, like, Samotion or the bowl stacking one we did, or I would love to watch and just, like, be a part of, like, a sumo at sea or water slaughter, one of the more physical ones. I think those would be fun to host too.
Awesome.
Nice. Very cool.
Great.
Just out of curiosity, do you watch any other Survivor versions, like Australian Survivor?
Oh, yeah. Yep, Australian Survivor, and I've watched like 2 or 3 seasons of South African. I watched 1 of New Zealand, and I've watched all the Australian ones though. I love it. I'm sad South Africa didn't get renewed, and they just had a really good season. But yeah, Australian is great.
A lot of discourse about that.
I need to read up more because I know people are disappointed, obviously. I hope there's more progress, but because I know they took a hiatus before. But this most recent season was great. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Australian Survivor, I'm trying to think some of my favorites on Australian Survivor. I mean, I do love Pia. I enjoyed Luke before I knew more about things he thinks. Abby Holmes, David, the Golden God, Christy, obviously, Nick Idanza. There's just so many, Harry the Ice Cream Guy, just so many fun people, and it makes me want to visit Australia.
Janine! Where's Janine?
Oh, Janine.
Yes.
Queen Janine's great. I mean, her and Pia were such a great duo. And Abby. I loved that alliance so much.
So much.
King George, obviously. I got to meet George. He was in LA for my finale. Amazing. He's similar to Sari. He has an energy about him that really brings you in, and it makes you immediately understand why they're so good at games like this. He's amazing. Yeah.
He's doing Amazing Race Australia, right? Isn't that?
Yes, I saw that with his sister. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that. But yeah, no, the Australian series has been great, and I just love their sense of humor. I love the accents. I love their slang. I like
so fun.
Johnny Easto's affinity for chicken parma. Just all of it is just, I find it very endearing, and it makes me want to visit for sure.
Oh, we love
Oh,
that.
that's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Oh, well, anything else? Do we have anything else for the benefit of the community tonight? I know we've been, I don't want to take up too much of your time, Owen. You said you had a long day at work, so.
No, I appreciate that. If there's any random questions in the chat, I'm happy to answer a couple more. But I'm sorry if anyone was really tuning in for some deep strategy talks about the challenge, but this has just kind of turned into just reality TV in general. Which I love it.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
No, this is what it turns into, though. We talk about the show, and then we talk about other things. No, that's why they're here. No, please.
That's the way it goes. So who are y'all's winner picks for this season?
Ooh, so I didn't get to have one because I unfortunately accidentally saw the spoilers on Twitter, so I did not get to choose winner picks. I
appreciate your respect for the game. Yeah.
I don't, because she already knows what accounts spoil things, and she still chooses to follow them, right?
I didn't follow them. No, it was other people that I follow reposted.
But you still scrolled.
That was the problem.
Still scrolled. All right, because usually it's a thread.
Well, you can't unsee something that you see.
It's still a thread. You still got to the end.
No, it was a post of these are the winners of the Challenge USA.
That means the correct accounts are not blocked. All right, there are certain accounts that we know we should not be.
Well, they are now.
Too late.
Get out of here.
Too late.
Gamer Bev, yeah.
Gamer Bev can't have it, cannot have it. I mean, very fun for some other people, but like I like to have the experience. Don't take that from me. I have very little in life. the least I want is to not be spoiled. So at this point, I mean, like my male winner pick obviously was Lewis. We have a very personal connection with that man. He's a very sweet guy. But at this point, who's left? Hold on. Let's make this is an interesting question. This is not something we've answered mid-season, right? Because so much has changed now. Now that we know things, like what man do we think might win?
So who do we have left? We have
Bananas,
Vessel, Corey, Chris, Josh,
Wes.
Who am I missing?
Wes and Tyler.
Wes and Tyler.
I'm not putting a lot past Wes. I think Tyler's a possibility, and I still want to go with Vessel. We believe in Vessel. As far as a male winner, female, I feel like that's a much harder conversation because our women are strong. Desi, right? All right. I said Desi early on, but Michaela is really something else. I don't think we can be ignoring her. And Cassidy, I don't know. There's something there. I don't want Tori. Tori definitely has the chops to win. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. I'm not rooting for that.
No.
Desi, Cassidy, or Michaela for me. Although a Michelle win is not impossible, and I would also celebrate it. I like Michelle a lot.
I like Michelle too.
It's just definitely not going to be Alyssa.
Yeah, I worry she kept some of the wrong people around in terms of her chances in a final. I mean, obviously you got to get there, and she wanted to stay with the Survivor folks, but just in terms of like physical, she's great at puzzles as we've seen on Survivor, but just in terms of like the endurance required, I'm a little nervous for her from that angle, as with Cass, honestly, because like I saw how hard Chanel worked out leading up to this season and some of the content she's put out after. Like she was at the gym twice a day, like she inspired me to buy a weighted vest to walk on the treadmill with. Like she's a beast. So I think Chanel might be being slept on a little bit as well.
That's fair. My winner pick for the men originally was Lewis because, as Kyle explained, we're all very tight with him. Lewis and Michelle use my VPN to watch stuff.
Oh, no way.
So Lewis is my winner pick for the men, and Desi still my winner pick for the women. At this point, if somebody asked me like now mid-season pick a new winner pick for the men and the women, I would stick with Desi, and just to be absolutely insane, I would pick Chris.
I don't think a
Survivor
Chris win
sweep.
is impossible.
Seems like he's going to have an uphill battle for sure. But
Yes,
that's
definitely
great to
not
hear
an
about
easy
Lewis.
But a lot can change with just one win. One daily challenge win can change a lot. Sorry, I'm calling.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, Lewis to me seems like one of the nicest people in this whole reality TV universe. I'm
He
so excited
really
to meet him.
is. He
I'm
really,
so
really
glad
is.
to hear that. Like you said about me saying Desi's so nice. Like I'm relieved and not surprised to hear that about Lewis. Like we've messaged a bit over the past year or whatever, and yeah, he just seems like such a sweetheart. And I hope to meet him and Michelle one of these days. Yeah, they seem great.
They're both so lovely.
Yeah, I hope to meet
That's good
them
to
as
hear.
well. I speak to Lewis and Michelle more than I speak to like real life friends. I'm just like, oh, why is this person texting me? Oh, it's Lewis.
Hello, sis.
Yeah.
I gotta say
Yeah.
that is one of the weirdest and like hardest parts of this past year is like the managing my real life friendships or like my pre-survivor friends and like still giving time like there's just only so many hours in a day that you can be texting people and keeping up and like one of my friends actually was like, I miss you, like can we please like be friends again? I'm like, I'm so sorry, like I felt so crappy after that, but it's been now that it's been some time and like realizing that a lot of my reality friends are my close friends and some of them are just my reality friends, like it's helped, but that if when that happens it's just like just like what's happening, but it's also kind of seasonal, which is funny because like obviously during Survivor season I'm seeing more Survivor people and doing more things like this and it's more front of mind, but then in the off season I can kind of chill a little bit, but there is no off season this fall. Like, let's go. Like, we're off to the races with all these.
You're in it.
Yeah, we're in the thick of it.
All right. Well, we're actually doing another stream tonight about Big Brother, doing spoilers and stuff. So
we're so busy.
I know, so busy. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to add? Anything for the benefit of the community, relating to anything we've been talking about?
I think that's all I got.
All right,
that's all I have. We just do consider it good etiquette to not just sign off as soon as we show the outro video. We like to chat for a couple of moments outside of the stream, so don't just leave.
Say a proper goodbye
during the goodbye. Yeah, we say a proper goodbye, send each other off some well wishes.
Yes,
sounds good.
But first, Owen, where can people find you on social media and all that?
Yeah, I didn't realize y'all had all your handles and your usernames. I did the wrong thing, but I'm the Young Knight on Instagram, and then on Twitter or X, it's the Young Knight, but it's a 0 instead of the O, as a nice little nod to how many jury votes I got. And because the Young Knight was taken.
Oh my God.
Primary reason was that my real username was taken, but then I didn't want to think of a new one or add numbers, so I thought the 0 as the O would be kind of funny. So I did that.
Yeah, nice. All right, everybody, go find Owen. If you're not already doing so, follow him. He's the man. So
thank you so much, fun, y'all. Yeah, y'all are so fun. This was great, and maybe we can link back up in a couple months, talk about some Survivor.
Absolutely.
We can do whatever. We're always here. Even if you want to come back and just chat the challenge with us, we're here all the time.
This was great. This was super fun.
Yeah. Whenever you want to just kick it, we're here.
Yeah, awesome.
Man. All right. And to all our friends out there watching and listening, find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. And if you're wondering what we have coming up tonight, in about 15 minutes, we'll be talking about Big Brother 25. And then Thursday, we'll be wrapping up the week of Big Brother 25. And then next Monday, we'll be back again with another challenge and Big Brother night. So that's what we got going up. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you soon.